All right, today in the shop, we're gonna do a little bit of work on an '07 Nissan Versa. It has a drivability concern, check engine light, whatnot. I'm gonna take you through the steps, show you some real easy ways that you could diagnose a car with a drivability problem, check engine light, misfiring and whatnot. So come along and here we go. So you can see on my scanner here, we have a P0304 cylinder 4 misfire. I didn't do any other testing with this scanner except for just pulling the code. After we scanned the code, we came over here. Next step, so first step we did, we verified the problem. It was running bad, it is running bad. 2, we scanned the code. We identified our cylinder that's misfiring, cylinder 4. 3 is I went and I verified that cylinder 4 is this end cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went ahead and I did that. So the next step is trying to determine, is it a coil problem? Is it a problem with the spark plug? Is it a problem with the fuel injector? Or is it a base engine problem? So my next step after that was checking the coil. First step, now on this car, this person lucked out. The cylinder misfiring is the only cylinder you can remove the coil without having to remove this intake. Most engines don't have the coils covered like this, but this 1.8 Versa, for some reason, that's how they designed the intake. So if it was any 1, 2, or 3, these 3 cylinders, that intake has to come off. But lucky duck, look at that, wide open. So first thing I did after I went to that cylinder 4 is I removed the coil and I installed an inline spark plug tester. Real simple to do. One goes onto the spark plug, then the coil plugs into this end, and then you plug the coil into its respective connector, which is right here. So you just basically hook up the coil in line series. It would look, I'm not gonna go through the test right now. It looks something like that. This would be plugged in, and then this end would be inserted into here. When I did that, I started the vehicle up. That coil was sparking, that light was lighting. So, and initially I was like, okay, the coil is sparking, but we're still definitely misfiring. There's another issue going on. After I unplugged it, I did what I call the sniffer test, and it's very simple. You actually smell the coil, because a lot of these electronic coils, when they go bad, they will give off an odor as like a burnt electrical type of smell. And what I found is if I put this coil here on the bench and I focus in on it, those are burn marks or track marks. So what's happening is, even though the coil is still functioning, it's still working, the spark is actually shooting out of the side of the coil and it's going to the closest metal conductor, which if this coil was sealed would be obviously the spark plug that it's on top of. But since it's not sealed, it's shooting out of the side and it's basically arcing off the inside of the valve cover. First thing we did, we verified the problem, then we scanned it, we got the code, we located the cylinder for the code, and then we did some basic testing. That coil boot was burnt, was cracked, and it's no good. So I got a new coil and a spark plug coming on its way. I'll install those. I'll restart it, verify that it is not running bad anymore. I will clear the engine light. I will take it for a ride, and that will be that. I'll show you the basics of entry-level drivability diagnosis. We verified the problem. We scanned it for the code because I had a check engine light on, so we got the code out of it. Then we verified what cylinder that code was for. It was a cylinder 4 misfire. We verified which cylinder was cylinder 4, so we were working on the correct one. Did some really basic tests on that coil. The coil is no good, so I'm gonna get a new coil. I'm gonna slide it in there. I'm gonna take it for a ride. I'm gonna verify the repair that it's good. I'm gonna verify there's no other problems, and then the vehicle's going back to the people. So from now on, if I get some other cars that I think would be good for some videos, I'll try to shoot them, try to show you, and try to just give you some ideas of what's going on. Thank you very much for coming along. Like, subscribe, pass the channel around. If you think any of this info will help anybody, share it with your people, and I'll get back with you. Thank you so much.